Good morning. I am Dr. Saravanambigadevi, Associate Professor of Commerce, Vellalar College for Women. Now I am going to take about consumer rights. Consumer protection. Consumer protection is the practice of safeguarding buyers of goods and services and the public against unfair practices in the marketplace. Consumer Rights Day. So, World Consumer Rights Day is celebrated on every year 15th March. The day was declared by former US President John F. Kennedy. He defined the consumers are the biggest economic group influenced by almost every public or private economic decisions. They are the most important group whose attitudes are frequently not heard. The consumer's voice should be heard. Next, consumer rights. The four basic rights were reclaimed: right to safety, right to information, right to choose, right to be heard. The consumer movements through Consumers International has added four more rights: the right to satisfaction of basic needs, right to redress, right to education, right to healthy environment. Next, together these eight rights form the basis of ongoing work by Consumer International and consumer groups worldwide. First, right to safety. So, right to be protected against marketing of goods or services which are hazardous to life and property. Next, right to information. Right to be informed about the quality, quantity, potentiality, purity, standard, and price of goods or services as the case may be, so as to protect the consumer against unfair trade practices. Next, right to choose. Right that assures access a variety of goods and services at competitive prices whenever possible. The next right is right to be heard. Right to be heard and to be assured that consumers' interest will receive due consideration at appropriate fora. The next right is right to redressal. This right helps to seek redressal against unfair trade practices or respective trade practices or unscrupulous exploitation of consumers. The next right is right to consumer education. Right to acquire knowledge and skills needed for taking action to influence factors which affect consumer decisions. The next one, right to healthy environment. This right to physical environment that will enhance the quality of life. It includes protection against environmental dangers over which the individual has no control. It acknowledges the need to protect and improve the environment for present and future generations. The next right to basic needs. The right to basic needs ensures basic goods and services which generate survival. It includes adequate food, clothing, shelter, healthcare, education, and sanitation to lead a decent life. The next, elaborately to right to safety. It means right to be protected against marketing of goods or services which are hazardous to life and property. The purchased goods and services availed of should meet the required safety standards. Here, some of the following deadly accident and incidents. The fire hazard that happened at Kumbakonam school resulting death on hundreds of school kids. The next one, the fire accidents happening due to poor electrical wiring. The next, herd of lizard in the food meant for kids cooked at unhygienic conditions. The lift door opened when it was not at the floor. People fell down, hitting the base springs and died on the spot. The next one, sharp metal parts in the toy tearing the cheeks of the baby. Next one, uncontrollable illegal way of discharging effluents to the rivers causing health hazards. Next, a pair of scissors found inside the stomach after surgery. Next, the 11th standard boy performing cesarean. The next, how to safeguard consumer from hazards. Fixing standard safety and stringent regulations for products and services used by consumers would safeguard the consumer. There should be mandatory safety standards for products and services. So governments play a role in setting and implementing safety norms and regulations to ensure marketing of safe products to consumers. Governments can intervene where there is evidence of actual or potential product safety problems. Government should declare mandatory safety standards for products that are likely to be especially hazardous. Information on safety standards, mandatory warnings against possible misuses, and clear instructions for proper use about a product are to be provided to consumers while buying. Product suppliers and manufacturers also have an obligation to help ensure that only safe products are marketed. Consumers should also have access to warnings on safety hazards in the products and services they buy. They should have awareness, especially at least in safety parameters. Next, caution labels. So, labels convey information about products, features of the products to the consumer or to describe the hazards. In some circumstances, a law requires mandatory labels to convey information and warn the public about the risks. Some of the labels are electric volt warnings, warning about flammable poisonous gases, railways, level crossings, tobacco products, pesticides, etc. Next, consumer product safety in India. Earlier, the interpretation of the right to safety was limited to electrical products. In India, the Indian Standards Institution was set up in 1947 as a registered society. The Indian Standard Institution gave the nation to the standards it needed. In 1986, the government recognized the need for strengthening the organization. Bureau of Indian Standards Act 1986 was enacted in 1st April 1987. Bureau of Indian Standards is the authority to implement national standards. All the standards developed as by BIS are not mandatory. Only very few standards are mandatory. Some of the important mandatory standards are given below. Packaged mineral waters, milk powder, cereal-based complementary foods for infants, cement, electric items, lamps, PVC isolated cables, switches, clinical thermometers, LPG, plastic feeding bottles. The next one, Fruit Product Order 1955. Fruit Products Order 1955 promulgated under Section 3 of the Essential Commodities Act 1955, which aims at regulating sanitary and hygienic conditions in manufacture of fruit, vegetables products. This order to ensure good quality products manufactured, the minimum requirements for sanitary and hygiene conditions of premises, surroundings and personnel, water to be used for processing, machinery and equipment, product standards. Besides this, maximum limit for preservatives, additives and contaminants have also been specified for various products. This order is implemented by Department of Food Processing Industries through the Directorate of Fruit and Vegetables Preservation at New Delhi. The Directorate bases 4 regional offices located at New Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, as well as sub-offices at Lucknow and Guwahati. These officials of the Directorate undertake prevent inspections of the manufacturing units and draw random samples of products from the manufacturers and markets. Next one, Food Safety Act 1954. The Food Safety and Standards Act 2006 was enacted by the Parliament with the objective to consolidate the laws related to food. Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, established under the Act, would regulate their manufacture, storage, distribution, sale, food processing and import to ensure the availability of safe and wholesome food. The Act replaces 9 food regulations under Union Ministries. Among the regulations are Milk and Milk Products Order, Fruit Products Order and Prevention of Food Adulteration Act. Next, the Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940. The Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940 regulates the import, manufacture, sale and distribution of drugs and cosmetics. Its main aim is to protect the consumer from substandard drugs and cosmetics. Next, consumer product safety world over. Unlike India, that is, developing countries have a very robust regime of quality and safety standards for products. They have made most of the safety standards mandatory. No one is permitted to import or manufacture any item without standards. Every accident is taken as a case study and lot of research is being carried out to update the standards, and then they are aimed at the existing regulations. Next, automobile safety. So, automobile safety is the study and practice of vehicle design, construction, and equipment to minimize the occurrence and consequences of automobile accidents. The improvements in roadway and automobile designs have steadily reduced injury and death rates in all first world countries. So, car safety may have become an issue almost from the beginning of mechanized road vehicle development. Much research is carried out using automatic crash test dummies. Few examples are, so seat belts. So limit for forward motion of the occupant stretch to slow down the occupant's declaration in crash and prevent occupants being ejected from the vehicle. Some of the vehicles spare parts are airbags, laminated windshields, side impact protection beams, anti-lock braking system, tire pressure monitoring systems, backup camera, emergency brake assistance systems, steering wheel with airbag, reverse backup sensors, infrared night vision, collapsible steering columns, and crumple zones. The next, toy safety. Toy safety is the practice of ensuring that toys, especially those made for children, are safe, usually through the applicable of set safety standards. In many countries, commercial toys must be able to pass safety tests in order to be sold. In US, some toys must meet national standards, while other toys may not have to meet a defined safety standards. In countries where standards exist, they exist in order to prevent accidents, but there have still been some high profile product recalls after such problems have occurred. The danger is often not due to faulty design, usage, and chance both play a role in injury and death incidents as well. Small toys may be swallowed by children, such as their electronic button seen in the stomach. Toys stuck in the esophagus too large to pass through the stomach may need to be removed with endoscopies. So, common scenarios include choking as aspiration small parts, strangulation, cuts by sharp parts of the toy, injury by projectiles, drowning, motor vehicle incidents involving toys, and lead paint. Next one, Consumer Product Safety Commission. The United States Consumer Product Safety Commission is an independent agency of the United States government created in 1972 through the Consumer Product Safety Act to protect against unreasonable risks of injuries associated with consumer products. Next one, CE marking. CE marking found on many imported items like calculator, keyboard, and cell phone. The CE standards for Conformite European in French. The European Union introduced CE marking system in 1985. The CE marking is a mandatory confirmatory mark on many products sold in the European Union Economic Area market. The CE mark certifies that a product has met European Union consumer safety, health, and environmental requirements. The marking is mandatory for products sold not only with 27 countries of the European Union. Thank you.